plan.
So they have a 30-year-old plan for them to economically empower themselves. That's a 30-year-old plan. The Kenyan people are not in that plan. Because if they were, the policies that they're coming up with, you'll be seeing the impact. The manner in which they are governing, you'll be seeing a difference. But if the same person is superintending over an administration that pays a mud thatched house in Mandera 20 million Kenya shillings in shift share, yet Mandera Provincial Hospital, Sub-County Hospital, is getting a pitiable sum. And yet that same Mandera Sub-County Hospital is the one that's responsible to attend to many other Kenyans, to more Kenyans than that funny thing they were paying that much money. So the design of the governance structure that they have itself is telling you they are not on any 30-year plan to make Kenya great. They are on a 30-year plan to make themselves individually great. These are all just philanderers. They are purveying, they are stealing from the Kenyan people, and they have no iota of intent to improve the lives of the people. If they were interested in serving the people, look at the sum total of these legacy politicians' time in government or in public space. All the sum total of it. A failed economy. Between William Ruto, Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, Gideon Moi, Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, Moses Wetangula, Mudavadi, add all of them. Between them, they have not less than 200 years experience in government. Cumulatively, all the years, if you add each of them, the number of years they've spent in government, not less than 200 years. And the sum total of it today is a healthcare system that has collapsed, an education system that has collapsed. You have a high cost of living. Kenyans aren't able to participate in this economy, majority of them. That's the sum total of their work. So if in 200 years they have not been able to serve the Kenyan people, now you think in the next 5 years they will serve you. What they couldn't do in 200, with their 200 years. Take it this way. We must take cognizance of the times we live in. And it only takes a fool to not recognize that times have changed. And the period we are in is a period of social awareness, reawakening, so to speak, of the psyche of the human, that people are now putting their governments to account. The template of past, where even in terms of global issues, the focus was not on the people. This era, it's about the people. It's about, is my government making sense to me? That is where we are in. It's like where we were in 1990s, where the wind of change was blowing towards opening up for multi-party democracy. This particular period, it's about governments accounting to their people. And if you look at all those counties you mentioned, it's all about the economy. Yeah, people are simply saying now, the cost of living is high, we are not able to access water, healthcare services, they are going to the streets. Life is unbearable. It's only on the question, the economic question, not political rights. In 92, it was about political rights. Open up the democratic space. Today, it's about, in my own household, am I getting quality services or living a quality life? Or is my government hindering my ability to enjoy an economic life worth living? So, it's happening. The Gen Zs in Kenya started it, or was just the spark. It has been picked successfully in different jurisdictions. It has worked. So it will only take a fool to think that it will not succeed in Kenya. It will succeed in Kenya. On or before the next elections. Yeah. And legacy politicians are aware of this. That is why when you see them caucusing together, coalescing, they understand that their position is under threat. Those who they've been using as their subjects have now raised a new issue. So they must galvanize to protect the individual this way. You should actually ask yourself, how have we been reduced to discuss legacy politicians as if they are the future? At what point did they capture the spirit of the Kenyan people that was leading a revolution last year? When the young people came out to demonstrate, it was on an issue. They defined the issue to be the economy, and they were united across the divide. There was no space for legacy politicians in that conversation. In fact, they were boldly saying, keep off, leave this one to us. This is our fight now. But now all of a sudden you'll think that it is a legacy politician-driven process towards the new Kenya, the future. It's not. These guys were all cancelled. So what I see in them is just a group that is threatened. And they want to maintain their positions in power. So they are regrouping. They decide to mutate into one side is 2-term, one side is 1-term. But they're all the same. Because last year when, for example, when the issue was the economy, it was very clear, a very clear divide that this is an issue that we are agitating over and it unites all Kenyans. If you don't want it, you take one side. If you want to improve our economy, take the side of the people. But today you are told these are the two formations of united opposition, the government side, Kenya 2-term. But underlying these formations, what is there? If not personalities. That is why Gideon, for example, will casually walk from the opposition into government, and they continue. Gachagua will be removed from government and walk into the opposition, and they continue. It's not about the Kenyan people. It's not about an issue. It's about these legacy politicians. And we must reject this kind of politics. Have this conversation. So just keep harping on, but the issue is the economy. Ask each of these political caucuses. Tell us what is your promise on the economy. And we question you. Tangible. Not fake promises. Tangible. Just like the other Dennis has asked me. How will you pay for this? How will you get? So, and I'm seeing the next guest also is a political. Ask him, okay, we've had the 1-term, we agree. Now tell us, what is it for Kenyans? What is your promise on the economy? Ask all of these campaigns, we focus on the agenda. What is your economic agenda? That should be the discussion. Then once we are clear on what the agenda is, the personalities will come later. But legacy politicians will prefer you start with personalities. That Raila is here, Ruto is here,
so the focus is going towards setting an agenda.
Yes.
Let's go to the proverb. No matter how long the dry season lasts, the rain will come again.
However tough things may be, tomorrow will promise a better day. So I interpret to mean that even when you are going through tough times, just rest assured that there is a better tomorrow that will come. So even Kenyans today, despite these failures of the legacy politicians, this is not our fate. Tomorrow will be better.
Tomorrow will be better?
Tomorrow will be better.
Okay. I think of a song that Michael Jackson sang. Tomorrow will be a better you, a better me. It's interesting how that music just comes back and reverberates today.
And I've always used this analogy that Kenyan politics, the Kenyan polity is like a big prison where every 5 years the prisoners are given an opportunity to choose the chief warden. So the wardens get into a very vicious fight of promising prisoners how they can, if they made them the chief warden, how they'll improve their life within the prison. Maybe if you may get it regularly, allow some TV, allow more time in the sunshine.
All right.
But none of them says they're going to destroy the prison. So when there's an attempt to destroy the prison, like the Genzs are trying to do, to say that this time we want good governance, we can't go with these things like that.
Okay.
They circle their wagons, they go back, they forget about the fight they had about who is the chief warden. They say we are all wardens. There's enough for us as wardens. If the prison goes, our business is done. So Raila has gone back as a warden to join the fellow wardens to ensure that Kenyans stay in the prison so that he can have a job, so that Ruto can have a job, so that the other elite, political elites who have been exploiting us can have jobs and continue stealing from us. So, but at this time, the prison break cannot be stopped. Unfortunately for them. That's why now he's realizing, trying to come and masquerade that he's part of the prison break, but we are not going to allow him back in those ranks. He has chosen his sides, people have died, and there's no playing magic with us again.
Final word, Jimmy. I'll allow you 30 seconds to say something to Kenyans.
My dear Kenyans, we are at a turning point in our history. And I call upon you all to participate with I and we in Safina in taking Kenya through the next phase of our liberation called economic liberation. I plead with you to seize this moment, to look at every single leader that comes before you attempting to take your vote, to articulate to you the issues of your life, the issues of the day in Kenya. This is a moment for you to change history. It is our moment as a country. It was started by Genz, and we must complete this journey of liberating Kenya from the shackles of what was created in 1920 by the colonialist. You must arm yourself with that voter's card. You must participate in an election that answers your question when you X the box. It must be you you're voting for, not Jimmy, not whoever else. It is you yourself you're voting for. Your question must be answered when you're Xing that box. And that question can only be the next phase of our liberation, which is the economic. Join us in that liberation.
Thank you so much. That's where we come to a close.
So, Afrika mzima wameamua ni one term. So Raila, wewe na hiyo tumbo yako kula tu kijua umse mwenye unakula na yeye anaenda nyumbani. Sitless wameamua ameenda one term. Kumbuka juzi hapa kuna mwenye alienda. So next ni William Samuel Ruto 2027. Venye Mseveni anaenda ndio venye tunamalizana na kila mtu. Kumbuka hata ule mama wa Tanzania pia yeye ni one term. Kama ushaifanya makosa yoyote
Abazenga. Stage.
Oh, kwanza uko na voters card?
Sasa voters card imeingiliana wapi na sina?
Shuka utembee. Si baby mtu ana nini?
Bro, voters card na
wewe tembea, enda uregister kwanza.
Bari yako.
Poa sana.
Sida upando, mimi nasikia kichwa changu na umamba.
Kuna dombili. Uko na voters card?
Voter gani sina hiyo voter hapa.
Hoja register? Na siwezi kuzia panado.
Si niko na saa.
Shaifanya hapa.
Sasa ifanye.
Enda uregister kama voter ndo urudi.
Wewe waiter.
Yes, ni WhatsApp na nini?
Niletee ugali matumbo.
Ugali matumbo na wewe?
Nyama gideri iko.
Nyama gideri. By the way na mko na kura, msha register kama voter.
Vote. Bado.
Hapa tuziwa watu hawana kura.
Sasa vote inaingiana aje na kukura?
Enda kwanza chukua kura huko.
Bwana mkate moja ni how much?
Mkate moja ni 65.
65? Basi nipe mbili.
Uko na voters card?
Voters card? Hii ya kupiga kura? Bado sijachukua.
Enda uchukue kwanza ndio urudi nikuzie.
Ai bwana.
Enda chukua kwanza kura.
Nimewaona kwanza na spend all day. Hadi ajaiva. Manze.
Haya, Genz mnafanya nini salon? Naona mko busy.
Tunashuka.
Mko na kura?
Hi Kenyans, mimi sina maneno mengi. All I want to say is Ruto must go like yesterday. Bye.
Ati black chocolate ni fine melanin bana toka nikapate. Kanapenda kenye mi wanapenda so kanapenda toto chupa na haga nono.
Madam na kudai umedunga mini na unapenda mangwai. Una dance fit unawacha nikismile ama niko high jua life is nice.
Kono moja mbele ngine yende rembe paila yoni
Enyewe Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. Wash fire, Ruto must go. Enyewe Ruto must go. By the way, Ruto must go.